Hey everyone, it's the live magic Q&A with me, Madame Pamita. If you're watching this on YouTube, on Instagram, I haven't been able to put it up on Instagram yet, but one day I'll figure it out. Maybe if I hit 10,000 subscribers, they'll let me post this on Instagram. I don't know. They have all those weird rules. If you're seeing this any place other than being in the room with us live, then you need to know that this clubhouse is open to you. You can come in the clubhouse. How do you do it? You just go to spellsquad.com. You sign up to be on Madame Pamita Spell Squad, and I will give you the link so that you can come join us here. When do we do this? It's every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Mountain time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We meet, we all get together in the clubhouse. We have an amazing time. We talk about magic, and I bring in amazing special guests. Wait till you hear who I have this time around. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be so excited. So first, a little bit about me. If you don't know who I am, if you just stumbled upon this somewhere, I'm Madame Pamita, and you can find me at parlorofwonders.com. It's spelled P-A-R-L-O-U-R. Why? Because we're extra fancy here. We throw in those U's for no reason. Pretending to be English, I don't know. Whatever the reason is, we got an extra U in there. You can also find me on Instagram and other places as Madame Pamita, all one word, M-A-D-A-M-E-P-A-M-I-T-A. So if you're looking for me, you want to know who this crazy lady with the purple hair is, that's where you'll find me. Now, let's talk about who we have on our show this week. So exciting. We have Miss Melinda. Miss Melinda is a professional magic maker. She's a spiritual teacher, and she also is a steward of American folk traditions. So folk magic all the way. That means we're going to be talking about hoodoo, I bet, today. She's a pagan universalist, but she has more than that background. She's a spiritual channel. She's an intuitive empath. She does mediumship work. She's worked with spiritualism and a spiritismo. And she's also been on a goddess-driven coven. Oh my gosh, you've got all kinds of background and all kinds of magic. And I will tell you, she's an amazing, amazing teacher, because I have spent sessions with her. I'll tell you a little bit about, well, let's first meet her, and then I'm going to talk about my sessions with her. Let's meet Miss Melinda. Here she is. Da, 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 da. For your viewing pleasure and listening pleasure, Miss Melinda. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Melinda here. I'm owner and operator of Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services.com. It's M-I-S-S, Miss Melinda. So happy to be here with you, Pamita.
I know. I want to tell them the story about how you changed my life. Well, you've changed my life in many ways, because you're fabulous, and I get to see you all the time, and we talk all the time. But there's this very, very special thing that you did for me, which is, let's talk about the clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. I know there's some other clairs in there, but they're the main three clairs. So if you know a little bit about clairvoyance, which is what most people have heard before, clairvoyance, it means that you can see things, either images about what's happening now, but you're kind of entering into spirit realm and seeing things. Then there's clairaudience, where you're going into spirit realm and hearing things with your mind's ear. Like I say, it's like clairvoyance is not having a hallucination. It's seeing things with your mind's eye. And clairaudience is not hearing voices. It's hearing with your mind's ear. And then there's clairsentience, which is sensing, feeling things. You can feel physical sensation and feel emotions. There's some designation where people break that up into the feeling, sensation, and the emotion, but I just lump them all together. I know. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my story with Miss Melinda. So I'm a clairsentient all the way. That's my primary modality. I can feel people's emotions. I can feel when I go into a room. I can feel what the room emotions are. I can feel I have physical sensations. So if someone asks me to check in with someone that they want to talk about, or I'm with a client, I can feel their physical sensations. I can feel emotional sensations. That one I have down. Started many years ago to develop clairaudience, hearing things, hearing words, talking to guides, getting messages from the guides. That I used to have down. Clairvoyance, couldn't get a handle on it. Didn't know how to do it. Wasn't adept at it. Once in a while I might get an image of something, but I couldn't control it. I couldn't call it up when it was necessary. all I could get was clairaudience, clairsentience. Sometimes you have to have clairvoyance, so you have to be able to see something to answer a question, or it might be the best modality to use. So I wanted to learn to be more clairvoyant. Well, enter in Miss Melinda, who teaches classes on developing your intuition and developing your psychic abilities. And so I said to her, I said, here, I got this issue. I'm not clairvoyant. Can you help me develop that? And what did you say, Miss Melinda?
I said, let's get to it. Actually,
I'm ready to go.
What's really cool about the work that we did together is that it helped me to develop a completely new service based around the step-by-step actions that we took. So now I have a specific service that's called Mystic Guidance. And what you and I did was really do the hands-on visualization and the hands-on energy work together, guiding you through the inner process to work on that and develop it within yourself, which I think is much more useful for somebody like you who's already, you already have the knowledge, you already have the skills in all of these other areas, and it's really just the hands-on development was going to get you to that next step. You didn't need to be taught what it means. You didn't need to be taught how to work on it on your own. It was really delving into that and actually doing the work,
But it was fascinating to me. So I went in going like, okay, well, let's see what happens. I'm just kind of like, let's see what happens. And we went into this work, and I went in and I was like open-minded. I'm like, okay, we're just going to do this work. And it was like you turned a switch on. All of a sudden I was like, oh, I get it. And oh, I'm getting those messages now. So this amazing, very gentle work that we did together, very lovely, loving, sweet. I almost felt like you cradle. I mean, I'm sure you do this with everyone, but my feeling of working with you is like you cradle someone through it. You hold space for someone. You hold someone as they go through it. And we had such an amazing experience, and it completely opened my clairvoyance. So now every time I have a clairvoyant message, I want to say this, I go, thank you, Melinda. Thank you. I always think of you every time I get a clairvoyant message. It's still, my fallback is, of course, clairsentience, clairaudience. Those are my two easy ones. But when I need to call up that clairvoyance, or sometimes it just comes forward, I don't even need to call it up, I always think of you because of you opening that door for me and how amazing that was. So this is amazing. So we've got her here. You can talk about, first of all, we're going to be answering your questions. That we're going to definitely do. But also Miss Melinda is going to talk about, she's going to be giving a little mini reading at the end. We're going to talk about that in a second. And she's going to be giving people a special discount just for the Spouse Squad, just for you guys out there. She's got a special discount that we'll talk about at the end of the meeting today. Let me ask you something. Melinda, what is your favorite emoji?
The crystal ball.
Okay, the crystal ball. So if you would like to be in the running for the giveaway of the free mini reading that she's going to be doing, a mini tarot reading at the end, put in a crystal ball emoji or type the words crystal ball. And if you spell it wrong, because crystal is a really kind of weird word, it doesn't look like it's spelled the way. If you spell it wrong, no judging. We're not teachers. We're not spelling bee people. We're not running a spelling bee. So if you just put the word crystal ball or put the crystal ball emoji, and you will be in the running for the reading at the end of our gathering today. So so besides espiritismo, spiritualism, teaching psychic awareness, what other things do you do?
What do I get up to? So all kinds of readings. I love doing readings. So channeling guidance from spirit guides, tarot readings, participate in a lot of in-person events here in the Austin, Texas area as well. A lot of readings at events, things of that nature. Spell services, lots of spell casting going on.
Oh, that's great. I know that's one of the things that you have done, and then sometimes you don't do it, but I'm glad you're doing it, back to doing it again. So that's wonderful. So let's start to look at the questions about, probably about magic. You can ask us anything. I think, is there any areas that you think you're an authority on that you can answer better than others?
The psychic development area, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working with spirit guides, magic, candle magic, reading, divination, all of that stuff, right? All right, let's get to it. Oh my gosh. Before we do that, I have to introduce you to somebody who's right here. Hold on, we've got a very special guest crashing our party. Oh, I want to introduce you to Glinda. This is my little baby girl I just adopted. She's adorable, and I just named her Glinda. She had a different name. The shelters give them names, and then I said, "You're a Glinda. You're a magic cat." All right, so let's look at the questions. All right. Adam asked the question, "Hi, Madame Pamita and Miss Melinda. I recently did a 7-day novena candle for my ancestors as a blessing. Thank you for them and for all their help. One of the candles had a lot of wax residue, but also had faces in it. My question is, when doing candles as offerings like that, does it matter if there's a wax residue? And when you do a candle for a hoodoo working, wax residue can mean a blockage. Is it the same case with offering candles to ancestors or spirits?" What do you have to say? Do you have anything to say about that? You do candle work.
So in that type of a working where you're offering your gratitude, I think that it's a really powerful sign that faces appeared in that wax residue, because I believe that it's the faces of your ancestors and of your guides. And I wouldn't feel that that is a sign of a blockage at all, but them making themselves known to you, letting you know they received that gratitude and they are present and they're with you.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Now, normally in a normal spell working candle, I look at two things. You're looking at a glass encased candle. You're looking at, is there leftover wax, and is there any soot or smoke, and how dense or dark that soot or smoke is, what color it is, and is there any wax left over? So soot or smoke always to me is talking about spiritual aspects to the issue at hand. So let's say, for example, you're doing an abundant prosperity candle and you have some dark soot or smoke at the top. It's real dense, but it only goes about an inch or two, and then it clears out down the way. I would look at that soot or smoke. That's capnomancy, which is smoke reading. I would look at that as like, yeah, there's a spiritual block of some kind, and it will be cleared away. And depending on how much soot or smoke, that tells us how big the block is. It's a little bit of smoke, no big deal. You're going to get over it. Big, lots of smoke all the way down, lots of soot all the way down. Then we got something to really deal with here. And then we can, then it kind of guides you as to your next steps. Oh, we've got lots of soot or smoke. We need to do a spiritual cleansing of some kind. When I see excess wax, different meaning to me. Wax to me is material. So wax, that's excess wax, is material world blockages, meaning that it's things like, okay, my abundant prosperity is blocked because I have some wax at the bottom. That would indicate that I need to take some action on the material level to get that abundant prosperity. It's a really interesting thing to see in those wax readings, the candle readings with the remains of your candles, to look and go like, oh, okay, this means I need to get off my butt and do something about this. Not that I need to cleanse it, not that I'm being cursed, not that I'm being blocked spiritually. I just got to do something, so that I may be sitting there waiting for my prosperity to come, when if I put some action toward it, I'll get that prosperity faster. Okay, that's a normal spell candle. You're talking about that spell candle, but you're also asking the question, is it the same for an offering candle? That's a different thing. In your situation, your guides really wanted to come through in a visual way. And I agree with Melinda 100%. This is their way that they can give you a real gift, which is kind of saying, we're here with you. We're surrounding you. We are supporting you. Another way that we can see like spirit guide help showing up in a glass encased candle, like those candles back there, is if we see white or gray smoke. Light gray and white smoke indicates that the guides want to help. It's a spirit thing. Remember, smoke is spirit. Guides wanting to help with your situation. So if I see like a white haze around the top, I'm like, your guides are wanting to help you with your abundant prosperity. You need to be setting up a ancestor altar or a spirit guide altar, or asking your guides for help, or calling on your angels, or saying a prayer, or whatever it is that is your modality for connecting with the spirit realm. So that's what I have to say about that. But I agree with you, Melinda, 100%. It's fascinating to see how guides will come through, and you'll see faces when you work with spirit guides on your candles. Have you had that happen a lot?
How cool for you, Adam. That's really cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, I would take a picture of it or save that candle glass, because it's, and use it, repurpose it in some way maybe, because you've got a really beautiful, it's almost like a photograph of your spirit guides. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to keep in your home, and to remind yourself of them. It's really lovely, lovely. Okay. Anything else you want to say about that, Melinda? Beautiful.
Nope.
So, a very long name of, I'm not even going to say who this is from. It's like, blah, 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 blah. It's like a password. So whoever has that long letters and numbers name said, what's a great memory spell, especially for taking state boards? For example, CPA test. So if someone's taking a test, is there any kind of spiritual work that you would recommend? Herbs, actions? What would you recommend to them?
I like to recommend a slightly different approach for this kind of spell work. I know that you're asking about your memory specifically, but I would encourage you to consider another aspect of it, which is the ability to simply get in the flow and allow the information to flow through you, flow through your body, and flow through your hands when you're taking the test. So for that, I would recommend doing some spell work for clarity and focus, to be in the moment and put some intention behind it, that you're going to allow that information to simply flow through you, or maybe even allow your guides to get that information flowing through you during the test.
It's like developing that intuitive channel to get that information flowing. I have a very practical thing that you can do. I love to recommend this. So this is something, I don't know if you know this, Melinda. Do you know about the connection of the sense, okay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know which sense has the strongest memory? Like which sense? Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Which of your 5 senses has the strongest connection to memory?
Your smell.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. See, we have a genius in the room. I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to be a hard question for you. Your sense of smell is the thing that can transport you back to a place in time. For me, my joke is like, I always when they served chili beans at the elementary school cafeteria, which was one of those lunches that you wanted. We had good lunches at my school. You wanted pizza day and you wanted chili bean and cornbread day. That smell of chili beans and cornbread, oh my God, there's a certain smell, and it doesn't happen very often, but I'll smell something and I don't know what it is, but it's the spice that they use or something, and it'll take me right back to elementary school. It's like I'm back in elementary school with that smell. So, you smell something that smells like your grandma, or you smell something that smells, or grandma's house, or you smell something that reminds you of something that you haven't had an experience with since then. It will transport you back to that time. What a fabulous tool in a very practical way. And let's bring some magic into it. This is how you do that. You get yourself an oil that you're going to use for studying. So when you're studying, you put this scent on your hands. I mean, you could use perfume, you could use anything. But if you use a special oil that you're only using when you're studying, then when it comes time to take the test, put a little bit of that oil on your hand and smell it. It's going to take you back to the time that you were studying, and you'll be able to recall what it was that you were studying much better than if you just did nothing. Now you can also bring a magical element into that. You can bring an element of success or confidence or creativity or whatever it is that you think you most need to pass that test. and then use that oil when you're studying. Don't use it in between, and use it again when you take your test, and it will transport you back there. So that's my sneaky studying tip.
That's really cool. And I would recommend using rosemary for that. Rosemary for remembrance. Rosemary oil would be really effective, or something that wakes you up mentally, like wintergreen, mint, something that adds some mental clarity.
Yeah. I mean, you could technically use even just rosemary, rosemary plant and rub it on your hands, and then take some of it with you and then crush that rosemary, and you get those essential oils. When you are doing, if you make your own oil, let's say you wanted to make a rosemary oil, you just need to make sure that if you have the essential oil, which is very, very concentrated, you dilute it with a carrier oil of some kind. So you don't want to ever put a pure essential oil on your skin, because they're very harsh, very strong. Even benign ones like rosemary are a little too strong for you to be using on your skin directly, but dilute it with some oil. I always recommend about a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 parts carrier oil, 1 part the essential oil. And then you'll have this nice oil that you can use. Rosemary is great. Sage is great. Also a great one. There's a lot of them that you can use out there. I think, depending on what it is that you're wanting, you can choose an essential oil that corresponds to that. And there's a great book, actually, Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Aromatherapy is all about aromatherapy, magical aromatherapy. Or no, I think that's what it's called, magical aromatherapy. Scott Cunningham wrote this book. He's the one that wrote the beautiful book on herbs, and he wrote this one about aromatherapy, and it talks about how to use aromatherapy magically. So if you want to do that, it's another whole other area of study that you could go into, which would be amazing. Anything else you want to add?
No. I want to check out that book, though.
It's a great little paperback. It's like a tiny little paperback, and it costs probably $7 or something, and it's a fabulous book. All right. So, Dee says hi, and she says, I'm so excited I actually got to make it this time. Your background always reminds me of church. Yeah. It's the Church of Parlor Wonder back there. Got all our candle spells burning for the clients back there. We love that. Buchanan, beautiful Buchanan. Hi. It says, hey, Pamita and Melinda. I've been seeing a lot of scattered information about magical properties of various types of houseplants. Aha, I have not seen this, but I'm having trouble finding more info. Do you know of any books or websites? Most things I'm finding are about herbs and not so much houseplants. Do you know? Have you heard anything about this? I haven't heard anything about this. But
yeah, I've seen that information going around a lot. I've even mentioned working with houseplants in a magical way in a couple of my videos, but I don't know of any specific books about it. What I would recommend is one of Scott Cunningham's other books, which is his Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Yeah. And he will have there will be some plants, some herbs in there that can also be used as house plants, things like rosemary, herbs you can grow indoors. And then in a lot of traditions like in Santeria, for example, they use a lot of different plants in their home. So you might want to look around at some of the information out there from differing traditions, like some of the traditions from the African diaspora, just to get you like some generalized background information and to give you some more ideas about how you could work with houseplants.
You know what, Buchanan? You got your next book. This is the book you're going to write, the magical houseplant book. I think that would be amazing. I'd buy that book. Would you buy that book?
Yeah, I'd buy that book.
I think all of us would buy that book. This is something I teach and I tell people. If you go to Hoodoo Urban Root Magic, if you go to Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, if you go to any of the books, Buckthorns, or any of these books that are listing herb or plants and how they are used magically, they are only the tippy tip of the iceberg. You might have 500 herbs that are 500 plants that are cataloged as magical. Does that mean that the other 295,000 whatever are not magical? No, of course they're magical. They just haven't been documented yet. Right. So here's what your homework assignment is, everyone. Find a plant, like my little orchid that I have sitting here. Orchid isn't, I don't think it's listed. Maybe it is listed. Find a plant, sit with it, talk with it, communicate with it, ask it what it can be used for magically, and then start experimenting with that. All plants are magical. All stones are magical. It's not just the ones that people have cataloged. So don't let that limit you. Start to do your own research. I also have one other book that I think can be really, really useful for this. And it just occurred to me. There are books out there that are about the language of flowers. So the language of flowers is a Victorian, English Victorian, maybe American too, I don't know, but in English, books in English about the flower messages and meanings. So like if I wanted to be friends with Melinda, I might send her a daisy. I don't know, whatever the friendship one is. And I think that these are also very helpful in guiding us as to the meaning magically about those plants. So you may have flowers that you want to look at those meanings, but there's all kinds of plants. And what you have to do is sit down with the plant, spend time with it, talk to it, listen to it, and let it tell you what it can do magically. And then Buchanan, you got your book there. I'll help you get your book deal, baby. I can do that. So, all right, let's go to the next question. Nirvania says, hi, she's so happy to be here. That's great. Yadi says hi. Chandra says hi. Oh, it's so great to see all you guys.
Hi, Yadi.
So Amy has a question. Amy's saying, what's a good spell to cultivate a sense of confidence in finding a good romantic partner? I'm feeling insecure after a series of rejections. What would you do for building up confidence?
So I'm a big proponent of getting down to the root of the problem and kind of dissecting it in a way that allows you to break it down into smaller workable chunks, right? So I would take this step by step, and you're saying you're feeling insecure after a series of rejections. So I recommend thinking about, like, are there certain aspects of yourself that you're feeling insecure about? Like, what is that self-critic voice saying to you? And start kind of dismantling that voice a little bit and turning those thoughts around. And then, for instance, like, I don't know, I'm thinking about common problems that people might encounter, right? So let's say that my inner critic was telling me, I'm too old. I'm 43. Let's say I was single and I was looking for someone, and my inner critic is telling me I'm too old. It's going to be hard for me to find somebody. So I would start working on a sense of being confident in my age. I would start maybe doing some magic, contemplating the strength of the number 43. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 is a magical number. I would find some kind of tricks there to turn that around and make it into a strength that works for me. And then I would build a spell around that.
I think that's a great one. I love the numerology. I'm a huge numerology person, and I love working with the magic of numbers. I think it's such an easy way to do magic.
Yeah.
When we start to look at something that's negative, like you were saying, like, or could be perceived by us as a negative. I look at 43 and I'm like, you're a youngster, you're a baby. But as we look at something, we go, wow, how do I maximize that? How do I maximize the energy of that number too? You know, what does it 7 mean? A 7 means being altruistic. It means being philosophical, spiritual. There's all kinds of levels to that number too. So if you're into numerology, that's a fantastic one. I love that. I would also say here, I'm going to say something that's maybe, I can give a very practical thing to do, like instant results kind of thing, that if you want to just sort of do something that isn't too intensive, working with Queen Elizabeth root and Queen Elizabeth root powder and Queen Elizabeth oil is always great, because it empowers us from within. It creates our own queenly energy so that we feel confident, strong, powerful. But the psychological component of that too is to get into that headspace where you are knowing that you are co-creating with the universe, and that in a co-creation process, we have great gifts and our partner has great gifts. Now, if your partner is spirit, you know that there's things on the spirit realm that are much better done by the spirit realm, and there's things on the material realm that are much better done by the being in the material. So in a case of like looking for a job, I would say you aren't going to get every job that you apply for. And that is even the awareness or the consciousness. When you go in, you go, I know I'm just going to be applying for jobs, and then eventually I'll get to the job. But you wouldn't have the expectation that everyone is going to work out. So before I even start that process, whether it's looking for a job, bringing in an opportunity, looking for a lover, whatever that is, I would sit down with myself and sit down and commune with spirit and say, all right, spirit, you know better than I who my perfect partner is and where I can find this person. I can do the footwork. I can get out there and pound the pavement, but I may not have the full information about every single person that I meet. So I may meet this person and go, wow, you're amazing, but I don't see all the stuff that's behind the curtain. And oftentimes when we're dating, people present their best self. They don't really show you their shadow self until you're 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year into the relationship, right? So in that situation, I would even trust spirit and say, spirit, will you open the door to my best outcome? I'll walk through it. But if the door shuts or remains shut, the rejection that you had, it was like the shutting of the door, I trust that too. Because if that was a rejection, that was a person who was never going to be the loving person that I wanted to have in my life. But I think in some sense, with a sense of resiliency, you can say better that it happens, a couple weeks in rather than 20 years down the line, right? I find out about it now, the sooner I can move to my great outcome. So having that consciousness when you're going into dating can also be super helpful, and setting out the intention, universe, open the door that I'm meant to walk through, close the door that I'm not meant to walk through, and get me to my perfect partner, get me to my person. That's what I would do on a communing with spirit level, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd add to that?
No, I love that.
Yeah, I think that with that, it's like you also have to kind of psych yourself. I mean, you just have to psych yourself up. Whether you're looking for a job, looking for a lover, trying to get a book deal, whatever you're trying to do, you got to psych yourself up and know that the territory comes with some rejection. But that rejection is just, we're not a match. It's not saying you're not good. That's the part that I think you want to have the conscious shift, which is that the rejection is not I'm too this or not enough this, but that person and I are not a match. And that's okay. No harm, no foul. We're not a match. So that's, it allows me to move on to find my person, to get to that really beautiful person. And what can I learn from the experience too? I mean, there's always that kind of, is there something that I can gain from a painful experience? There's always a lump of gold. Whenever we get handed a lump of lead, the potential for the lump of gold is there. So we want to polish that lead or transform that lead into a lump of gold so that we have something that we take away. And it wasn't just a heartbreaking experience, All righty. Freedom Fairy. Hi. We had the Freedom Fairy on in a past episode a couple weeks ago. So if you have not seen the Freedom Fairy, you can go back to watch the episode on YouTube. Hello. She asked, when would it be more appropriate to do magic with an oil? And when would it be more appropriate to do a candle, sachet, or other type of spell? That's a big question. Can you answer that one, Melinda? I don't know.
Yeah, so some ideas about that would be, right, you can carry oils with you when you're traveling. You can stash oils in your purse or your pocket. You can put oils in your desk at work. You can use oils in your car. So an oil is going to be something that you can use to spread around your life or spread around the different areas of your life to layer your magic throughout your world. And with that in mind, if you're going to be doing a candle spell or a sachet or any other kind of more physical magic, you can always use something like an oil to add more energy to that, and to then carry the energy from that bigger spell working throughout other areas of your life and thereby build upon it. But as far as like when it's more appropriate to do a candle spell, I would say when you feel it's a situation that you want to really add a lot of manifesting power to, or when you feel it's a situation that you really want to add a lot of prayer work to, or that you want to be communing with your guides or your ancestors during, right? So when it's something you want to put a little bit more energy to, and then when it's something that's more portable, it's like maybe you've already done the manifestation work, or you've already done the prayer in another area of your life, and now you're just kind of carrying that energy or extending that energy throughout your world.
Yeah, I love that. You're absolutely right about the oils being a great, like when people are saying like, I can't do a candle in my house because live with my family and they're going to think I'm cuckoo. I can't do that. I say, you can do an oil, because everybody can do an oil. Take the label off and nobody's even going to know, that you're doing magical work when you put an oil on yourself. You could take a plain candle, like, a Yankee candle, whatever, those candles that you get, whatever, and you can put a magical oil on that candle and turn it into a magic candle. So it doesn't have to look like a skull or something, big and dramatic. It can actually be something that's real super down the down low. And there's all kinds of ways to do spells on the down low. As you were talking, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, this is such amazing advice on how to do that. But, it's such an art to know what kind of working. I think it takes a lot of practice and experience to know this one needs a candle, this one needs an oil. But there is also another way. If you practice divination and if you have a tarot deck, you can do a reading for yourself to get some direction. So you've got your 4 suits and you've got your major arcana trumps cards, right? So you got your major arcana and your 4 suits. 4 suits are swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. Swords represent air, wands represent fire, cups represent water, pentacles represent earth. The major arcana represents spirit. So you got your 4 elements plus your 5th, spirit. I would ask the question and then pull a card. If you get a swords card, do air magic, which is incense work, or spray, right, around the house, something to do air energy for your magic. If you get wands, which are fire, do a candle. If you get cups, which are water, work with an oil, do a bath, do a cleansing bath. If you get pentacles, work with gemstones, work with earthy things. If you get the major arcana card, you can start doing spirit work. That can be, setting up a spirit altar, working with your spirit guides, all kinds of things that you can do on that level. So I think that's a lovely kind of, if you don't have the practice to kind of have a sense or the guidance that you get from your guides about which is going to be most effective, and every situation is different, use the cards to tell you. That's another shortcut, I guess, to get you started. Have you ever done that?
I haven't done that specifically, but I may now. Yeah.
I mean, I actually don't do that very often. Once in a while I'll do it. Like if somebody, I don't know when I do it, just maybe a couple times a year I get stumped by something and I'll do that. But mostly I just get my guidance from my guides. They'll tell me what's the best thing. Or you look at those, like Melinda mentioned, those practical aspects. Is this something that you don't have a lot of time or space or energy to do candle work? You can do an oil. So there can be those practical considerations. So if everything is your possibility, then I think that's where you want to go to looking at, and you're really having too many choices, then that's, I think you want to go to, you can go to the cards and say, well, which direction should I choose? By the way, mojo bags would be earth too, because that's something you're holding on to. It's something. Sachet powders, interesting. Sachet powders can be air because you can blow them, or it can be earth because it's something that you carry with you. So, alrighty. Everybody, I'm seeing some people posting crystal balls, all kinds of beautiful crystal balls. If you want to get in the raffle for the reading, we're going to be doing a reading in just a few minutes, in 5 minutes. type the word crystal ball or put the crystal ball emoji in the comments in the chat, and we'll put you in the running for that. So one last question before we get started and you do your tarot reading, we do that whole fun thing. Rita says, is fire divination with a white candle, is it accurate? I saw a word, Gibb. Rita, I'm going to have to ask you about that question because I'm not sure let's see, I'm going to unmute you, Rita. Rita, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Did you see the word Gibb in the divination?
It's a job. I was praying for a job. And then
for a job.
And I saw that show up.
So you saw that in your candle fire divination?
Yeah, I was praying and then I was meditating, and then the word showed up like 10, 15 minutes later. Something unusual.
That's amazing. I think it can be with any, white is a universal like candle color. Like if you don't have the specific color candle for your specific kind of working, whether it's divination or spell work or whatever, you can always use a white candle because they're easy to get, they're everywhere, and white incorporates all the light of all the colors into it. But let's say for a job, there's a couple of candle colors you could also use. Yellow could be a good one because it's gold, money, success, luck, energy. You can also use green because job is for money. If you saw that word, I would take that as to be either somebody's name. Their name could be Gibb or Gibson.
No, but it's like a job though. It's a company of a job.
It's a job that you're looking for, and there's a company
I applied to it, and I was just praying to get a job, general cleaning job. But that's one of the company names that showed up.
That's great. And you've already applied there?
Yeah, I already applied there.
That sounds like Spirit's telling you that you're going to get something. There's something to go for, to really put your energy over there because there's something for you there.
Yeah, but this a job offer just showed up Friday.
So you saw that first? Oh, and then a different one opened up?
A different showed up, and I'm like, dang, I thought the other one was going to show up.
Here's what I would do. I was going to say, I would say, I'll ask Melinda in a second, but I was going to say, maybe you want to, you saw that other opportunity come up, do another candle and do your divination with your candle and see what it says about that. What do you see about that? And see what you see. What do you think, Melinda?
Did the word show up on the candle, or did the word show up to you as a vision?
It's like the word. I was looking at the candle, my eyes open. I saw the word showed up on the left side of the white candle. The word showed up while my eyes is open.
Yeah.
A vision.
Yeah, so I feel like you're saying that it's a vision. I feel like you have guides that are trying to get through to you really strongly, and that this is something that you can practice more often if you want to directly communicate with them more often. It seems like it'll be really simple for you whenever you have a question you're asking. Light a white candle and ask the question and do exactly what you did and wait to see if you have visions about the direction to take. Okay. But as far as this specific job opportunity is concerned, I would not be surprised if this company that
show up later because it's one that showed up before it.
Yeah, it seems like it might still show up.
Yeah, it may show up later.
I would be prepared for that.
And now my hands are sweating. After I answer this question, both of my hands are sweating. What that is?
Oh, when your hands sweat?
They both sweating right now.
That's like a clairsentient kind of. When you have, so it sounds like you really are gifted. You've got a gift of vision, and you also have a gift of clairsentience. So when
I can detect if I'm blocked when I do magic or something comes to me, I see it. And
you're natural.
So I know about the yellow. I was blocked and I used the yellow, so I had to use the other color, red.
That's a great. Yeah. So then what you do is you just look to those visions, keep developing that skill, because the more you practice, it's like working out at a gym. The more you lift the little weights, you're going to be able to lift bigger and bigger weights. Same thing with your visionary skills. You'll get more clearer answers, more detailed answers. You'll be able to talk with your guides at any time. So you found a thing that works for you. Keep working with that. I love that. It's fabulous. We have a few more minutes. Thank you so much for that question, Rita. That was a great question. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to mute you right now, and we're going to go to the contest. So I'm going to count while I'm talking about this, why don't you tell everybody, and while I'm counting in the background, I'm going to pin you, Melinda, and you can talk to everybody. Tell them you've got a special deal that you're going to give everybody if they have a special code. Tell us all about it. What is it?
So I'm offering everybody who is here, as well as the folks who might see this video at a later date, 20% off of my guidance sessions and my teaching sessions, just like the session that Pamita was describing earlier, the Mystic Guidance. So it's 20% off of all guidance and teaching sessions with the code SPIRIT. It's all caps, SPIRIT, Spirit, all caps. That code is going to expire in a week, so on Sunday the 17th, but you can use it at Miss Melinda's Metaphysicalservices.com on any of those sessions, and I will be looking forward to that, looking forward to giving you all some discounts.
Well, that is an amazing discount, and she's amazing. You will have such a great experience, and wherever you want to go with it, whatever you want to develop, she can totally help you. And I can testify to that firsthand because of the work that we did together.
And Pamita, that makes me so happy that that makes me so happy that you were saying you have those visions now, and that you think of me whenever you experience that. That's super heartwarming.
You know that Aretha Franklin song? I say a little prayer for you. I don't sing like Aretha Franklin. I don't sing like Aretha. But I love that song, and I think of that when I see it. I say a little prayer for you because I just am grateful. I also want to announce that you have broken a Live Magic Q&A record. Did you know that? In the Live Magic Q&A book of records, you are now the record holder for the most people entering the competition. 18 people want a reading from you. That's amazing.
That equals 9. I love number 9.
Yeah, so 9 plus 9. Double 9. So you get to pick the number between 1 and 18, including 1 and 18, that you would like to give a reading to that person.
Okay.
Well, you thinking about it?
Yeah, okay. Announce it now. Number 7.
Number 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gia or Gia. Gia. I'm going to put you on, Gia, and you're going to have to tell me. Gia, are you there? Gia? Oh, whoops. There you are. Gia, are you there?
Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, I can hear you. We don't need, we just need to hear you. Is it Gia or Gia?
Gia.
Gia.
Yes.
Good. Okay, Gia. So Melinda's going to do a reading for you. Melinda, if you want to ask Gia for anything or not, or whatever you want to do, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to be using the tarot cards. I've got the Morgan Greer Tarot here. So I'll do a little simple spread for you, and you can ask about whatever area of your life you'd like to ask about. You can ask for general guidance in an area of your life, or you can ask a specific question. It's totally up to you.
Oh, great. Let me go outside where it's not so noisy. Okay. All right. Should I ask a question now or wait?
Yeah, you can ask it now.
I think maybe just something general for my business, my own personal business, and how to really get going, even though I feel a little nervous and lack some confidence.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is how to get going on your personal business in spite of the fact of feeling nervous, and how to have some confidence in that area.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm shuffling the cards. I'm asking that the guidance that comes through to you has your highest good in mind. And I'm asking that the information comes through in a way that is clear to me and in a way that is clear to you. Let's see what comes up here. The first thing I'm seeing is the Knight of Cups, and then the Ace of Swords, Followed by the Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay. So with the Knight of Cups here, I'm feeling like your feelings about this have already matured. So it's kind of like, I don't think that there's more work that you have to do on the emotional level. I'm feeling like you already know that you want the business and you already are in alignment with those feelings. You've already accepted those desires. So there's no more work to be done there except to continue to honor those feelings and to continue to honor the fact that you want this, right? And continue to allow yourself to be in alignment with that desire and with those feelings. We have the Ace of Swords next. And the Ace of Swords tells us that you're going to have some clarity coming to you soon, some inspiration, or some really clear ideas. I'm also feeling like anything that has been cloudy to you about this project, like any of the practical details about the project that have been, or about your vision for the project, that have been cloudy to you before, you're going to have more clarity about that very soon, as well as having some very inspired ideas that are going to help you move forward in a more practical way. So look for that to come soon. This is like missing pieces of the puzzle coming together for you. And then and then you have the Ace of Cups, which is a really nice way to round this out because we started with the Knight of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is telling us that it's going to replenish you emotionally. It's going to bring you fulfillment. It's going to help you with renewed joy in your life. So that, I think that's part of the puzzle that can allow you to feel more confident too, to really focus on the rewards that you're going to get from this and to really focus on the emotional aspect of it. Even though starting a business is a practical endeavor, right? And you're probably feeling to a certain extent like, I need to have A, B, and C all in order. Some of the guidance for you is to also focus on the emotional aspect of it and how strongly you feel about it, how strongly you feel that you want it, and to know that that feeling is there for a reason and that it's going to offer you emotional rewards in the end as well. It's going to offer you emotional fulfillment and a renewal of your inspiration and your heart in many ways.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you have any questions about any of that?
Is there any root work or anything that I need to do, or just stay in that place of emotion, looking at my vision board, dream books and such?
I would back up the vision board with a little bit more. And because I'm seeing all of this energy for your emotions, all of this energy for your heart, what I would recommend specifically for you is to really focus on the way that you want to feel in your life when you have this business up and rolling. How is it that you want it to affect your life in terms of how you feel about yourself and your life every day? And then focus on really summoning up those feelings. Do that in conjunction with your vision board. And I think that that's really going to help you get this rolling a bit more.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck with your business.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to mute you now. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was such a great reading. I love that. Wow. And what a beautiful, inspiring thing, huh? To have that, all that cups energy. It's like her emotions leading with her heart. Something tells me with all that cups energy, she's going to be doing something that is fulfilling to her, but also probably has some help out in the world kind of aspect. When you say, you know, there's something about this. It's so beautiful. I loved seeing those cards. Oh, wow. I was like going, wow, when those cards came up. That was so lovely. Well, Melinda, you are a delight. And speaking of heart, you are dear to my heart. And so you guys that are here, oh my gosh, the Spell Squad, you are amazing. And I love you guys coming in here and asking these amazing, insightful, wonderful questions, having so much fun with us. Melinda, was it fun for you?
So much fun. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everyone who's here as well. Everyone who's participated.
I know. How can they find you? Where are all the places online that they can find you and follow you now? Because you've got amazing things that you do. You've got videos and all kinds of stuff out there, right?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. It's Miss Melinda, but if you search Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services.com, you'll find me all over the place. Or Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services, I should say. Then you'll find me in all the places on YouTube and on Facebook, on Instagram at Metaphysical. So that's 3 M's, Metaphysical. Yeah.
It sounds like, I always look at your name on Instagram and go, it makes me think, good. All those M's in the beginning. That's some tasty spiritual services there, lady. So they can find you on Instagram under Metaphysical. They can find you on YouTube on Miss Melinda's Metaphysical. They can find you online on your website at MissMelindasMetaphysicalServices.com, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, see, I can be taught. I can learn something. It was such a delight to have you. You are such a light in this world and such a light in my life personally. I adore you. I think you are amazing. You are life-changing. Sessions with you are life-changing. So I really encourage everybody. What's that key code that they can use again? Tell us
Spirit.
Again.
Spirit, all caps, SPIRIT.
And it gives them how much off?
20% off all guidance and teaching sessions.
Oh, it's so wonderful. What an amazing deal. I think you guys should, if you are on the fence and thinking like, I kind of feel like I'm being called to work with you, I think you should totally take advantage of this, because it's like such a great opportunity to get your feet wet with her and have some amazing transformative experience. I promise, my testimonial promises you will have an amazing transformative and gentle experience with you. You're always so gentle. Well, thank you so much, Spell Squad. You guys are amazing. You guys are super magical. I love everything that you do. I love seeing you guys on Instagram. I love seeing you guys here. I love your amazing questions. You light up my life. And I'm so glad we get to come into the clubhouse and learn something and have some fun and say hi to everyone. It's always such a pleasure to have you here. I love you guys so much. Next week, no Q&A. Because why? Because I'm going to a birthday party, brunch. And Melinda, what are you doing next Sunday?
I also have a birthday party brunch.
Wasn't that crazy? Are we all going to birthday party? Because we're not going to the same birthday party brunch. I just want to point that out. You're in Austin. I'm in LA. We're going to different brunches next Sunday. It's brunch day. So next week, there's going to be no live Q&A. But the following week, I have Elhuhim Lifar, who's the author of Making Mojo Bags. I'm going to say this right. Don't want to screw it up. The Magical Art of Crafting Charm Bags. So he is going to be here talking to us about all kinds of magical things, but particularly about mojo bags, charm bags, gree-gree, and all of those things that you carry with you. So if you have questions about that, that'll be an amazing time, because he comes from a lot of different traditions. He's from Venezuela. So he brings in a lot of Latin American traditions, South American traditions, as well as his own study and everything else. So he really, really knows his stuff, and he is a fabulous being. So you want to be here next week for that. Once again, Melinda, thank you so much. You are amazing, and I'm so glad that we got to spend this time together, and I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate being here. Thank you.
Oh, it was lovely having you, and you'll have to join us again, because you were awesome and everybody got so much out of our session with you. So I hope that we get to do this again sometime in a few months' time. Down the road, we'll get to it again. Thank you so much, Spell Squad. We love you. We love you. We love you. We will not see you next week, but I'll see you in 2 weeks on the 24th, I believe it is. I want to make sure about that. Is it the 24th? Yes, it's November 24th when we'll have Elohim Leafar. I'm probably saying it wrong. It looks like leaf and it's probably Leafar, but sorry about that. We'll find out next week if I pronounced it right or wrong, or next time, not next week. See you in 2 weeks, you guys, and have a beautiful, beautiful 2 weeks, and I'll see you then. Have a great, great time, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.